As promised, joining me now is legendary journalist and associate managing editor of The Washington Post, Bob Woodward. Bob, it's great to see you. That movie is so good. So it was just a reminder of what a moment in history that was. But I was so excited to talk to you for a million reasons. I've read all your books, but also you've covered 16 secretaries of defense. I think I got that right. I know I said that earlier.
Yes.
And I know we talked about Secretary Hegseth. He wasn't the secretary then when we last spoke in November. And there's so much that's happened since then. You know so well about the functioning of the Pentagon and what impacts things. Is there anything that surprised you? And what concerns you the most about what you've seen in terms of his leadership there?
You need to address the question and think about what is the Secretary of Defense in our system.
Yeah.
The Secretary of Defense is Deputy President for War. Mm-hmm. So you want that position to be filled by somebody who's very serious, very competent, very focused on that mission, protecting the homeland, mm-hmm. protecting the United States. And having known and dealt with 16 of them, there is, you can have somebody like General Mattis, mm-hmm. who was probably the most serious person to ever work in Washington. And then, the current Secretary of Defense, Hegseth, it's just too jokey. It's too unserious. And he kind of radiates unseriousness. And that's a shame for him, for President Trump, and for the country.
It's one of those questions I always think about is, why does he keep him around? I mean, there's things like, well, he has to get another Secretary of Defense confirmed. That's not always that easy, but he does have a big majority in the Senate. He now, though, has made some big public mistakes. Trump has a pattern sometimes of wanting to control people. Is that part of it? Or why do you think he keeps him around?
Well, I think Trump doesn't worry about incompetence. He worries about loyalty. Mm-hmm. And loyalty is the first virtue. And in a situation like this, it's bad for the country. Mm-hmm. It is something that a president, thinking through the responsibilities of being president, I remember I asked Trump once, what's the job of the president? And he had a very good answer, which is to protect the people. Protecting the people, when you think about the Pentagon and the military and the Defense Department, you want to make sure it's competent. You want to make sure that it's not this kind of boys' club of grab rear ends. I mean, it's just, it isn't right. It doesn't serve Trump, doesn't serve the country, doesn't serve, I spent 5 years in the Navy, and I worked the last year in the Pentagon, and you learn about obligation, you learn about how important the task is, and that means serious, getting down to dealing with the business in the most careful and constructive and creative way. And I don't see any of that now.
You still talk to a number of people in the Pentagon. I mean, the thing about the Pentagon, State Department, other agencies in Washington like that is that people can serve in them for decades, right? There are people I know you still know who have worked for other secretaries of defense. I just outlined some of the people who were fired and quit. They were people Hegseth brought in for the most part. What do people you still talk to say about his leadership and how they're feeling about this moment?
Well, it goes to the commander-in-chief, and the commander-in-chief should put the obligation on his own shoulders to make sure there's somebody there. I'm going to go back to saying that Deputy President for War. War is the most serious undertaking that this country ever gets involved in. And I mean, this seems not serious. It seems too jokey, and it's in Trump's interest to have a very, very serious enterprise in that five-sided building, which is certainly one of the most complicated institutions in civilization anywhere.
No question. I don't know if you heard me say that, but I said that when you see Bob Woodward on your phone calling, you get a little nervous if you're in the government, because you are a very well-sourced and knowledgeable reporter for many years. And I was wondering, I mean, I've been the Signalgate or the signal chain scandal, whatever you want to call it. It struck me because I spent so many years working for presidents and a Secretary of State, where you have to be so careful about your handling of classified information for a range of reasons, including that adversaries can get their hands on it. You can put operations at risk. You can put sources and methods at risk. We know about now 2 or more Signal chats. I suspect there are many more, given nobody objected on the Signal chats. What do you think about this story? Do you think there's more underneath it that we should be concerned about?
I don't think so, based on, but maybe we'll discover that it had some consequence. I mean, it didn't interrupt the military action that was going to take place and did take place, but it's careless, and it shouldn't be careless, and these people should not be careless. And old rule, leadership starts at the top.
Nope.
Somebody's got to demand, let's tighten this. Let's do our best and show our best. And we're not seeing that. And I don't, where do we go? Why do we have this condition? We should not. Trump cares, again, as I say, about loyalty, not competence. And competence is the essence of jobs like this.